The following is a presentation of the Force Center podcast feed.
As Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, hello there, and welcome to Databank Brawl, the podcast where we learn about Star Wars characters, discuss them, share our feelings, and make them fight for our amusement and yours. I am your host. My name is Joseph Scrimshaw. With me, as always, is Ken Knapsack.
Happy to be here, though I've changed dramatically the rules of Databank Brawl, Joseph.
What?
Do you know what I've done here?
No, I don't.
You know our normal whiskey?
Yeah.
I changed it to vodka today.
You changed it to vodka. That's okay. There are no rules. They're just guidelines. Alcohol is like the Force. It is flowing. It is open.
That's good. That's comforting then. I'm also standing, which normally I don't do. I just sometimes get a little tired. And I hope you don't mind. I might act out some of our fight today.
Absolutely. Just be careful to not knock over your vodka pretending to have a lightsaber.
Vodka Peach here. Happy to be here.
So Ken is here with vodka and peach. We're not even going to talk about that. It was just vodka. Then he added the peach. We're going to let that be a mystery. We're going to move on. I have my whiskey, and we have a wonderful guest. We have Ash Crossan.
Hi. I can't believe I was invited back.
I can't. I mean, number one, you're really good.
Yeah, you were really funny, and then you tweeted at us twice. Why haven't I been invited back?
That part. Yeah, that's what
have been it. That might have been it.
So if any other past guests to Databank Brawl are listening and saying, how do I get back? Tweet at us.
I get self-conscious when I go on a podcast and never get invited back again. I'm like, well, what did I do?
You're great. You're like a dream guest for Databank Brawl. You've done some great work. The only other biggest dream guest we have is I want Ryan Johnson to fight a Porg versus a caretaker. And
Porg versus a caretaker. Yeah. All right.
But I want Ryan to fight it by himself, just alone in the room. We just watch.
Okay. I'm still going to do the intro and ask him about his feelings every once in a while, just to make sure that he's okay. And offer him whiskey or vodka.
See, this is the problem, Joseph. I have vodka, and suddenly I'm changing the rules even more.
We're collaborating, as always. Yes, tell us about your beer, Ash.
Well, we're not sponsored yet, but I'm drinking a Stone IPA. And you know what? It's quite delicious.
There we go.
Okay, you seem like you were giving that some thought, but you're just reading the back of the label.
I just wanted to say something, I don't know, smart. And it didn't.
Well, we have set the bar. We are recording in the evening. Sometimes we record in the morning, so this is an appropriate time alcohol that we're drinking for this episode. Both Ken and Ash have proclaimed that they are tired, so I think you, audience, are in for a great fight.
Yeah.
And we will get more plugs from Ash about where you can find her and all that great stuff at the end of the show. But for now, are you ready for your first combatant?
Yes.
I am.
All right. This is a Solo: a Star Wars story themed episode of Databank Brawl. And so our first combatant is going to be Totra. I assume that's how you say it. I've just decided. I'm going to give you a spelling. You don't get it from Totra, understandably. The spelling is T-O-H-T space.
What?
That's been an issue. T-O-H-T space R-A. Totra.
Totra.
Oh, yeah.
There. I always wait for the sound of recognition or confusion. Here's what the Databank says.
1,000% don't remember this character.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna dive deep, but first we'll do the Databank entry. Here's what StarWars.com says. Dryden Voss employs Totra and his fellow Hyloban thugs to serve as security aboard the First Light. Ra is the yacht's attendant, confiscating guests' weapons as they board. The Hyloban has a percussive cannon and vibro cutlass at the ready in case of trouble. So, Ken, when you saw, you obviously were like, what's he talking about when I said Totra?
Yes, first I wasn't sure.
But when you see Totra, when you hear about Totra, you're like, oh yeah, Totra.
Yes, because he's part of Dryden Voss's team, like you said, the security forces, that I really like that team. And there's something about it there. Now, I'm trying to clarify. This is not the leader of the pack.
No, that's Eamon Grem.
Right. This is the weapons.
Of course.
This is the weapons coat room check guy.
Yes.
Yes. You need to check your weapons, that guy.
This is the one whose Han says, like, look, I don't have anything
Yeah.
because it's hidden in the case. He doesn't. He implies that in his subtext.
Yeah.
Ash, you were also like, what's a Totra, right?
What's a Totra? Yeah.
Yeah, and as you're looking him up, are you remembering him from the film?
Not at all.
Well, I should have asked before we even got started. Now, you saw Solo. Did you see it multiple times? Or did you see it the once?
Okay, this is the craziest thing because I've seen every Star Wars movie that I've been like eligible to see in theaters 6 times. Solo.
Were you on some legally disqualified lists at some point?
I wasn't.
Don't let her in.
I wasn't alive.
Sure.
For some of the movies.
I like to think of your soul trying to go to the original trilogy film and saying, I'm sorry, you haven't been born yet. You're ineligible.
You're
You're
ineligible. And Solo, for whatever reason, I only saw one time. There was I liked it. I enjoyed it. I really want to watch it at home and like dissect it because there's so many deep cuts in it. But there was nothing about it where I was like, I need to go see this like in a cinema again.
Okay, so you just enjoyed it like that was a good beer. It wasn't like I need to have this again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is fine.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's the.
How many times did you see?
I only saw it 3, but see, here's the thing. This is where I see where Solo, the box office failures, come from. It's a different conversation. It's a Force Center main show. I love this movie.
I should be on that too.
I only got to should be. I only got to see it 3 times. Meaning, life got busy. It was like, yeah. And then in my head, I was like, the Blu-ray will be out shortly.
That's what.
So I think a lot of people had
and
that.
that weekend didn't work for me. At all.
So it's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's a whole to hear because I know Ash, you're such a fan of Star Wars in the sense that you were just you let the joy wash over you. The poor joy washes over you. But we all kind of had that experience.
And
so.
I'm usually
it's okay.
the person.
I saw it 5 times. So
you made up for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually the person that like my friends will be like, "Hey, no one wants to see this with me. Will you go?" Or everyone else has already seen it. Will you go with me? And I'll go. And that just didn't happen with Solo at all.
Okay.
Interesting
Anywho.
comment.
But
anyways.
would you go with us to see Mamma Mia too? Because I do want to see it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
All right, we're getting a lot of
Gonna go
business
again and
taken
again and
care of.
again and again.
Let's see.
I would do a Mamma Mia bank brawl.
A Mamma Mia bank brawl or a Mama bank brawl?
Mama. I don't know.
Mama bank brawl. That's disturbing. Mamma Mia bank brawl. Yes, we'll discuss that. But for now, we're going to get back to Totra. All right, Ken, what does Wikipedia have on Totra?
There's some interesting tidbits here that I haven't really read until now, but in terms of the stats now, so Hyloban is the species. That's how you're saying
I was saying
it.
Hyloban.
Hyloban? Yeah, that's probably more correct.
It sounds like a
Hyloban.
a beer
sound
from the 80s.
Oh, one of these
Exotic.
guys.
He is 1.94 meters tall.
Ooh, tall.
Tall. Totra. The name, if that kind of sounds familiar, it should.
Really?
Are you a fan of Raiders of the Lost Ark, written by
sure
Lawrence
am.
Kasdan?
Oh, geez, of course. This is why.
See this?
Yes.
You know what I mean with all the
Okay.
deep cuts? It's like the
Yes.
whole
Yes,
fucking movie.
Arnold Todt is, of course, the German who goes chasing Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood, Fräulein, and he seeks the staff of Ra.
Yes,
Totra.
Totra. Wow. All right. Now we just needed to code every other name in Solo slowly over the course of all databank brawls. That did sound familiar to me. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But no other details about his character, his backstory. There's not novels about him yet that we have somehow missed.
Not much. We're waiting for that Solo novelization. Just attendant aboard the first flight, like you said, confiscated weapons. Yep, nope, percussive. I love that percussive canon, but nothing else. Just that quote, you need to check your weapons.
Yes.
I like how it says it like all the info is from answering a fan question. Like, who asked about Totra?
Who didn't?
Yes, I have a question about Totra.
Now, Ash, do you have an image of Totra pulled up?
Yeah, I do.
Because we like to give the audience nice, juicy descriptions. Can you describe for the audience what he looks like?
No. How do you describe this?
All right, Ken, can you describe?
All black military, kind of like I call it a paramilitary uniform. This is like a private security force. And I like the design. The helmets are what I really like. They're the partial helmets. They're almost like a little bit like a. I don't know what to describe
I
them.
can't even tell. Is this fully covered or is this
That's what,
it's
it doesn't
glass,
fully
right?
cover. That's what I like about it.
Okay.
It does. It's almost like a training helmet in a
There's
weird way.
one image of Totra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the photo doesn't do Totra justice, but it's clear under there. that the mask is clear, so you
Yes.
can see some of his weird alien face.
Okay.
I just love that somewhere someone is listening, going, "Man, this thing does not give Toad Rod justice."
It does
not do it justice.
The Tote Ross super fan listening.
The guy, the one who asked.
The one who asked, you're absolutely right.
Yes, the helmets are kind of they're seen better when they're on the planet. When they're fighting Infus Nest.
Yeah, because it's
kinda
a
see
bunch of Hylobins. And I'm pulling up
Oh,
Eamon
'cause
Grem.
well, if you pull up the high low bins, the mask like comes apart.
Yeah, it spreads
That's-
open, yeah.
That's
And
sexy. I dig that.
Eamon Grem there has this similar outfit with Totra with the cool sort of shoulder armor and the interesting cut that matches sort of Dryden Voss's style to their wardrobe.
Right.
But then underneath, they're kind of a gnarled, thick alien face, a little like goblin-like, and beady little eyes, sort of reptilian nostrils, and kind of a little slash of a mouth with some big nasty teeth behind there.
And they're similar. And I gotta say, the first time I saw it, I thought they were the same species, the Tarsant, which is Chancellor Vilchum from Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was, but then it's separate. And then so I at first when I saw, I was like, oh, that's awesome, they're connected. And then they didn't. But it's still there. It's a similar character.
Absolutely, but they could be like Nemodians and Duros, that they're possibly related.
Possibly related.
You know,
Yeah, they
back-
both look like Aslan from Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah. All right. Now let's see if we can have opinions about this character who is very briefly in the film. Ken, you already said that you like his scene. You like the idea of this sort of weapons concierge.
Yeah, I like that Dryden Voss, Crimson Dawn have their kind of own security team. It kind of speaks of Dryden Voss's influence, power, money. I love this idea. This like Blackwater type of team, like you got money, we'll go do your dirty work. Like, what is that to me? It's really weird. And who are these guys? They're like, are they just? Is Tote Rod, does he believe in Crimson Dawn, or is this a job?
Yeah.
It raises a lot of questions for me, and I like it.
See, I get a like he's a few years away from retirement, and this is like I just gotta like put in my time. I gotta pay for the kids. We are about to be off on
Yep.
whatever vacation
Yep.
planet we want to put in there, and he's just doing the job.
It's like I my old job, I used to hire a lot of active, but also a lot of retired police officers who, and they just go work plainclothes security for me. Like, it was kind of this. It was like, cool, come on in, work.
This is the opposite
like
of plainclothes, though. This is very
This
fancy.
is in, yeah, totally.
plainclothes.
But like, it's that
But
kind of
yes.
like, I like that idea that maybe Tote Roth worked in the Republic military. I don't know.
And
We
I
got a
think
lot of Tote Roth fan fiction to fill out here.
Well, I feel like he's like, don't let me see it. Otherwise, if I see it, I got to take it. But if you don't show it to me, go ahead through. I don't care.
All right, we'll see how the character develops as we improvise.
I
feel like
have a
this
lot of
is-
thoughts.
Ash
I
is
feel like
writing it
this
out.
is a level of a high responsibility. Like, he might be a little bit older because he's got a desk job, right?
Right.
But this is an incredibly important desk job, right? That people don't come loaded with weapons when they go
Sure.
onto Dryden Voss's yacht.
Yeah.
Well, he let someone through, so
I didn't say he was good at his job. We're going to agree on that.
Yeah.
He did just take Han's word for it. Han just put his hands up and like, I don't have anything. He's like, sounds
See?
good.
We have a lot of Tote Roth feelings.
We do have a lot of Tote feelings, and I have
more
to
than I
say,
expected.
Yeah.
for my feelings, one of the reasons that I picked him, because I did look at Eamon Grem, and
Sure.
Eamon Grem will fight eventually. He's the head of security.
You're right.
But I love the idea of this concierge, that he's just there, this exact question that we're debating. How much is this a job of great responsibility, and how much is this a job where you can kind of just do some light reading? You can watch some hollow videos, and it's fine. But he has a percussive cannon. That's not just back there. That's his.
It's his.
He has. And a vibro cutlass. How cool is that?
We do like a lot of vibro things.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, anything can be a vibro.
Yep.
It's a pirate sword, a
Yeah.
vibro pirate,
I like
a
that.
space pirate
See,
sword.
and that could mean it's something in his past life.
Yeah, he
past
used
career.
to swash some buckle.
Yeah,
Yes,
he used to
did.
buckle some swash in space.
So I'm very excited about Tote Roth.
I'm
but
excited, yeah.
We will see what happens. Are you ready for your next combatant?
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. This one is also on the first light, Auradia Ventifoli. I will spell that.
Yeah.
Aurodia space Ventafoli. Auradia
Oh,
Ventifoli.
yeah.
This is an interesting pull for you here, because I think
Yeah.
this is a emotional connection to you with this character.
There's some joy and some pain here. I'll read her description. We'll get into it. Billed as the chanteuse of the stars, Aradia Ventafoli usually headlines high-end concert halls, but has taken a booking she couldn't refuse. An extended residency aboard Dryden Voss's yacht, Ventafoli's multi-vocoder boosts her already impressive voice so it attains non-human frequencies.
That's impressive.
It really is.
Multi-vocoder.
Multi-vocoder.
Yeah.
Yep, man. Everything's got a name in Star Wars.
Yes.
No waiting. Here's
Rhodia
the name.
Ventafoli.
Yeah. So, Ken, anything else on Wikipedia? And then we'll get into this character.
The recording artist on the first light, as you said, is tall, 1.81 meters.
Two tall
So
fighters.
Tote Rod does not have a height advantage here. She is, we know not other stats there, but we know her dress, her very bright, shimmery gold dress, a very interesting headpiece. It's like a flat but also large and tall hat, and then the vocoder is attached to her face. And I actually like knowing that she is a human, because I thought she was a little more alien the first time I saw the character.
That she maybe just like had that was like a breathing apparatus.
Right. It was some humanoid-like alien species in Star Wars, but no, she's a female human. So I billed as a chanteuse of the stars. This is a good character. I like this.
Oh, it's the same textile used in Snoke's robes.
What? Where did you get that, Ash, master of research?
Wikipedia. Well, I clicked on the Auropile fabric.
Oh, wow.
Form of textile used to make clothes.
Auropile.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, look, her hat is awesome. You could just serve sandwiches off
It
of
does
that.
look
That's a platter.
I was going to
That's a
say it's like a
platter.
platter, or it looks like a cake itself, like a high-tiered, multi-tiered wedding cake.
Okay. Yeah, so I am intrigued by this character. I like this character, but I do have to express my horror that her singing partner still has not been added to the databank. My favorite background character in all of Solo, Lulilo Primarch, who I called Vat Weirdo before I knew his actual name. I love Vat Weirdo so much. But Vat Weirdo, Lulilo is not in the databank yet, and Lulilo will fight. He gets added to the databank, but I didn't want to leave Rhodia just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens to you on that day, but this day, just as trying, I think, on some levels.
It is. So, Ash, do you have feelings about this character? Did you like that scene?
She's a best-selling recording artist, so she must be a huge celebrity, right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
That's what the databank pretty says. She usually headlines high-end concert halls. So my vibe here is that if this is sort of more in the 40s, if a gangster made Ella Fitzgerald do a private gig, like if a gangster said, like if Sam Giancana said, Ella Fitzgerald, you're just doing my Atlantic cruise ship.
That's a great example. Better than the one I had in my own head.
But I still want to hear your vodka
it's like when you
example.
hear like Elton John played the Chase Bank winter retreat meeting for like $2 million. Like that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's a little more accurate.
But kind of like a what are you doing here?
Yeah, a little
Yes.
bit more like that. But I do enjoy your version, Joseph. A little bit. It's a little more nefarious.
Well, in the databank, I think it is an actual Godfather reference. Has taken a booking she couldn't refuse.
Right.
So I
Okay.
think it is
Yeah.
literally, since Dryden Voss is a gangster who stabs regional governors.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that's how it probably happened. She probably goes to her dressing room after a show, and in walks, probably some folks, and she is told she must play.
That's
I like
right.
that.
All right, Ash, how do you feel about this character? What are your thoughts and feelings?
Thoughts and feelings. I don't know why I had more to say about Tote Rob than the best-selling recording artist.
Well, let me ask some leading questions.
Yeah.
So, in the general pantheon of music in Star Wars, did you feel like this fit? That it wasn't too modern, it wasn't too weird, that it sort of made sense as music in Star Wars?
Like in the sense of the movie, was I like,
Yeah.
this makes total sense?
Or were you taken out of it? Like, what's Space Lady Gaga doing here?
Definitely wasn't taken out of it in the movie, but like reading like best-selling recording artists is always kind of weird. Like it's always weird hearing like normal drops. Like even when I'm reading a Star Wars novel and then I'm like, they were drunk. I'm like, they were drunk?
Yeah.
Like normal people?
They were watching TV and they were drunk and they were sitting on a space couch. Yeah, you get some like real life stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's like today I was thinking about Force Awakens when Finn says, you got a boyfriend, cool boyfriend. Not one of my favorite lines, and I was like, well, why? Why? It's because like we never really heard that. Like Lando didn't say to Han, hey, who's your is that your girlfriend? No, we don't. So sometimes it knocks out. So sometimes I don't know
Are you
why.
friends with benefits?
Right?
No?
Yeah. Like sometimes when I hear recording artists, like I guess you never really think of it as they have that kind of structure set up. There's
Right,
entertainment that Obi-Wan's like, do you want to go to the Erodia concert? No, okay, just me.
Yeah, there's a big concert tonight.
You know.
Some Jedi were captured
Yeah,
at Herodias'
yeah.
concert. Yeah. But just so I know that singing in those kind of real world details are sometimes they don't work for people. But in the flow of the movie, did you feel like she made sense on the yacht?
Yeah, because it just felt like it felt like our kind of quintessential cantina scene where there is like some kind of musical number involved. So I was like, yeah, this is this one.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Much stronger feelings about Totra. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That is awesome.
That's good to know.
It's the magic of databank.
Ken, what are your feelings about Rhodia?
As much as I just said, hey, it sometimes seems weird when recording artists and everything. It wasn't presented like that in Solo the first time you see it. That's something maybe you learn later on. It's like the modal nodes and Figure and Dan, like the story that they might have lost a band on, that whole Tales from Jabba's Palace and Cantina type of stories. That wasn't presented to me. So when I saw it, going into it, Vat Weirdo, just your love of Vat Weirdo. Now, Lulio, I never Lulilo Primock. Vat Weirdo, much easier story group, much easier. I was just so excited because I didn't see it the first time with you, and when the whole scene popped up, I just was. Oh my God, Joseph's going to love this. He is going to flip for this. This is a victory. And I just was so excited for you that I'm just in excitement alongside you. So
okay.
I like this character.
Oh, thank you.
It does remind me a little bit of The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, Fifth Element.
I forget that character's name. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. The one that sings at the end and all that stuff. Something kind of out of this world, but very much in the world that I liked.
Ooh, yes, exactly. That's why I like both Lulilo and Oridia. I've said her name two different ways now. Orodia. Because I feel like what music is in Star Wars, like those mundane details are always dangerous because it's risks taking you out of the fantasy. Okay. But it was established so well in A New Hope with the modal nodes that so much of this is based on stuff from the 30s. It's fantasy, it's serials. And here's kind of music from the late 30s. They're basically space Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
So it's got this specific kind of vibe and things that get into too modern or too rock based sometimes can be hard. Just think, well, a lot of the reason that people don't like Jedi Rocks because it's got much more of a rock and roll beat and vibe.
Agree with that, yeah.
And I love that this had a little bit more sense of like older, classier, like swing, big band. And then even in world, the idea that Lulio is supposed to be this older singer, and then Orodia is kind of the new blood, and they're kind of forced to work together and do this odd duet. So it's all fascinating to me.
Yeah, no, it is. It adds a little texture to that scene.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts before we begin?
No.
All right.
This is going to be interesting.
Okay, then let us fight. Let us see if there is any way that Orodia can live up to Ash's love of Totra, or if this is going to be a fast, brutal battle.
That'll be tough.
Where Totra destroys her. All right, so we always like to set it when the characters are alive. Neither of them actually died.
Yeah, I don't believe,
I think Eamon and many of his compatriots probably didn't fare well ultimately there.
Yeah.
They were certainly captured.
I was just thinking, I don't get the sense that they were killed.
Yeah, but so we don't know about Totra. He's like 6 days from retirement in our imagination. Does this happen before the events of Solo or after the events of Solo? Is this when Kira is in charge of the First Light? It's flying off to go to Dathomir?
I mean, I think yes. I think it's interesting to think that Kira, a character I do love, is in control of a criminal organization, which means she's got to have some kind of criminal or, kind of a dark side to her, which is one of the things I do love about that character. So, especially at the end of the movie. So I propose that, it's after that. And then maybe someone's trying to get out of their contract.
Yeah, I love this. Okay, let's say that. Let's say Kira has taken. She killed Dryden. She the yacht is flying off to Dathomir to meet Maul, and right away, rumors begin to spread. She tries to take care of the body in a quiet way, but already people on the yacht are talking, and I think Erodia hears Dryden's dead.
Yeah,
and she thinks, this is my chance. I am going to sneak to the escape pods, but before I go, I need to get my weapons back that have been confiscated for the months I've been on this damn tour, right? So I think Erodia approaches Tot-Ra, and what do you think Erodia sounds like just in her natural speaking voice, Ash?
I imagine her to be, because she is like a celebrity, she's like a very sweet talker. So I imagine I don't know what you always make me try to do like voices, which is my weakness.
Yeah, that's
and you asked to come back, so I did it again.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Ken, do you have one?
No. The gentleman asked the lady here.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna defer to you.
She can speak like you if you want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter.
I just feel like she goes up and she's just like, "Hey, Tot-Ra," like very sexy.
I love it. See,
yeah,
I love it.
And she's like, "Listen, I have to get," like, she just goes for it. She's just like, you know what? Why don't I just go all in? Just see what he says. I usually get my way. She's used to getting her way. So she just goes in, asks for the weapons back.
Okay. And what kind of weapons do you think she had stashed there, Ken?
I think she has a couple little holdout blasters.
Yeah.
And we love holdout blasters here on Data
We
Bank.
do.
And I think she had herself a two-sided small vibro blade.
Ooh, nice.
That also has like a corkscrew and a spoon on it.
Oh, she has like a Swiss Army vibro.
A Swiss space knife. Yeah.
A Swiss space knife.
Multi-tool.
She has a vibro multi-tool.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so when she asks for her two small holdout blasters and her vibro multi-tool back, what does Tot-Ra say?
Well, Tot-Ra is kind of also, it should be noted, a fan of her work. He liked taking his breaks and going upstairs and listening to Chicken in the Pot. Like, he liked this here, all right? So he's like, oh, well, hello, Erodia. How are you? Oh, yeah, okay. That's quite a request. Okay. And he knows what's happened. So he's trying to...
Some of his loved ones were left on that planet.
Yeah.
Possibly dead.
Yeah.
Possibly marooned.
And he didn't. Dryden wasn't his most favorite boss, but the guy gave him a job and a nice uniform. So he's like, well, okay, let me call up. I'm about to go on my break here. I can't give you the weapons quite right now.
Okay, and I think that Erodia pretends to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think that as he goes to whatever intercom system, he turns away for a moment. And I think she whips off one layer of her amazing fabric. What was that fabric called?
Now she's skanky.
No. This is just like a shoulder.
Auropile.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant she was like, I'm going to go for the no clothes route.
No,
Okay.
not in the slightest. She takes like just a little like a little detachable shoulder thing off.
Oh, of the
Auropile.
Auropile. And I think she throws it in one direction because it's so glittery that Tot-Ra's eyes go to it, right?
So she takes a scale of this dress off.
Yeah, like just like a shoulder piece and throws it. And I think Tot-Ra's like, whoa, what was that? And I think he opens his little side door and goes looking. And I think she goes around the other side. There's more doors than there should be into this closet.
This is like a video game where you can do something really ridiculous, just distract the guards, and they always fall for it. Like when you whistle in Assassin's Creed, they're like, what's that?
Absolutely. And I will say for the rest of this databank, if at any point a character wants to crouch, no one will be able to hear them. Which is also true of video games. So I think she crouches.
She crouches.
So she's silent. And she goes in and she starts rustling through the weapons to find hers. Now I think Tot-Ra has realized, like, how'd this get here?
Yeah, her dress piece. Yeah. He's like, well, and he picks it up and he's like, turns around. He's like, Erodia, I think this is part of your. Oh no! And he sees her standing there with one of her hold-up blasters pointed at him.
Yeah, And what does she say to Tot-Ra once she has her blaster held on him? She is now back in his area with all of his weapons, and he's outside, and she's got a blaster held on him.
I think she is a little apologetic because she's like, I'm sorry, Tot-Ra, but I've got to do this. I've got to get out of here. Because she's got to get, And Tot-Ra's like 5 days from retirement.
Right.
Yeah, now he's 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, it changed to a new day in the course of this fight.
Yeah, and he's like, man, I was 5 days from retirement, and now I have a new boss, and now I'm not sure if I can even retire anymore, or like what I'm doing here. And now he's got a blaster held to his head. Ugh.
Yeah.
What a day.
I think he's bummed, but I think there is this deep sense of duty. I think his mind goes to poor Eamon Graham.
He's by the book.
All these, he's by the book. All of these other wonderful Highlobans who've been left behind, and he's like, can't let this happen, right? And I think he reveals that his vibro cutlass isn't stored in there. It's on his back.
Yes.
Swing. Not shing,
That
swing.
was Schwing. Great Wayne's World reference. Yes, he pulls the vibro blade up. He holds
Vibro cutlass.
Vibro cutlass. Holds it at her, brandishes this weapon, and she, much like Billy the Kid in Young Guns 2, when Bale realizes the joke is no longer a joke, that Billy the Kid's got a gun pointed at him, and Billy the Kid says, Bale, don't do it, Bale, don't make me do it. That is Rhodia in this moment.
Oh, she says?
She's like, Tote,
don't make me do it.
don't make me do it, Tote. Don't make me do this. Put the weapon down.
Oh, and I think that pisses Tot-Ra off, right? Because I think he's the one in the right, and she's saying, don't make me do
He's
this.
also like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah, he didn't do anything. So what does Tot-Ra say? I want to hear your Tot-Ra voice, Ash.
Oh, no. What?
He sounds a little bit like a...
He's kind of like
like a
Eeyore.
Muppet. He's like a little bit like a Muppet. He's a little bit like Sweetums.
Aggressive Eeyore.
Yeah, he's kind of like, what's her name?
Rhodia.
Rhodia. It's like, oh, Rhodia, now I gotta kill you.
He says it with laughter.
He does. He says it with laughter.
Now I gotta kill you.
Because he knows that disarms people. And Rhodia,
Right.
in fact, does lower her blaster a little bit. And suddenly, swing, the vibro cutlass lashes out in.
Yeah.
Man, a holdout blaster is small. That's why we like them. It doesn't have much of a muzzle to cut off. And yet, he cuts it in twain.
Whoa, wow.
It explodes in sparks. He cut it apart.
Yeah.
And already with his other hand, he is reaching in to grab a hold of Rhodia. He gets her like a piece of her Oripile dress, and he begins to pull her out of his area.
Here's what no one knew about Rhodia until this moment. She did at some point become close with Kira, and little known fact, was one of Kira's Terrascasi sparring partners.
Wow.
So when Tot-Ra grabs onto her, she fling, fla. I don't know how that sounds. That's what Terrascasi sounds like. Terrascasi
I
sounds
saw
like.
the movements, and let me just,
Ha,
for the listeners at home,
They became excitingly close to the vodka.
I felt like I'm in a martial arts film.
Yes.
Watching
So
this.
what she did is she, with the first move of her hand, blocks his hand, pushes it away.
Nice.
So now his vibro cutlass is away, and then she pushes the other hand away so he can't grab her anymore. And then she gives him a heart punch. Boom. Right in the center of the chest.
All through the window.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And this is my promise to listeners. This is our second episode in a row where someone has been a master of Terrascasi.
That's true.
It won't be every episode. It will not be every episode.
That's what happens when I've been playing a lot of solo on Battlefront.
But this makes logical sense that Rhodia would know some Terrascasi. So she heart punches poor Tot-Ra. What noise comes out of him when he gets punched in the heart?
Why are you doing this to me?
Because it's so
God.
fun.
That's why you're here.
Because you're good at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so imagine that you are a High-Loban and you just got suddenly heart punched by a student of Terrascasi.
Oh, why?
Okay, which is great because it's a natural reaction, and also he really should know why.
He's kind of like Michael Cera, and this is the end where he's like, "Oh, that was really embarrassing."
Oh, I hope the cameras didn't get that. And I think she is now crawling out. All she wants is to get to the escape pod, right? But Tot-Ra has been attacked. He
Yeah.
has been Doesn't know if the cameras are operating, doesn't know if the new master is watching, doesn't know if Kira, will get rid of Totra, so he can't let this go. So he does this surprising move where he tosses his vibro cutlass in the air. He catches it by the blade, cutting himself.
Oh.
And then uses the handle to whack Arodia in the shins and knocks her over as she is trying to run away. And I think she face plants right on her multi-vocoder.
Okay, we didn't really.
Whoa.
We had to
Yeah,
establish
that
she
is a
does have that in.
Yeah, I think it's always.
Is it kind of like an iWatch? You just always wear it. You're telling people, I have this new iWatch.
I think so. I think she face plants on the vocoder.
Is it like a Siri? Yeah. Oh, that's got. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
she's just lost a tooth.
I was gonna say
I shouldn't have done that because I don't like tooth losing, but that happens. Yeah, I got to accept the harsh realities.
Justice Grimshaw, not for tooth losing.
I'm not a fan. I would run on that as a political campaign. I'm anti-tooth losing.
Okay, but she's not feeling well.
No, that hurt. That hurt.
That's
Busted
smart.
lip. She bit her tongue.
Even worse.
Even worse than tooth losing?
For me, I'd rather lose a tooth than bite my tongue or the inside of my mouth. So she's now on the ground. A little known fact about me.
Yeah.
I've punched a wall biting my mouth. Ash just looked at me really weird.
I'm just wondering where you're going.
Where am I going?
Yeah,
with
with
that
this.
story or this story?
Do you have an idea of what happens next
I think
physically?
he goes
Okay.
for his percussion cannon.
Oh, okay.
I think he needs to go for that.
I keep forgetting what they have.
He's a trained paramilitary guy. This is his job. He probably worked for the Republic at one point, maybe the Imperials. I don't know.
He studies all these weapons. He's got them. He's got nothing to do.
He created the distance. It's like kind of create a safe space. Some use of force is boom. You create the distance to recalibrate your own kind of defense.
Right. So he reaches into his stash and he grabs his percussive cannon.
Percussive cannon. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to look at the pic. I don't know how big that is. Is that a?
It's a cannon.
I mean, it's a
pretty big.
Yeah, pretty powerful weapon. But also, hey, the noisy cricket from Men in Black is the tiniest weapon available. So I don't know. I'm just trying to find. There's obviously not going to be a
Sick reference.
there is. Oh, there's. Okay, I got a picture of it up.
It's the thing they have that their little yellow jacket weapons.
Okay.
Officially is quote the thing they have. It is.
I knew what you meant.
It is a large.
You guys always know what I
It
mean.
is like a Stormtrooper E11 size, a little bit bigger blaster, similar to Boba Fett's was E3.
Yeah, E3. I think.
Kind of my translator.
Sawed off E3.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like that. So, all right, so he's grabbed that.
Okay, and now Ash, he's
Yes.
got his percussive cannon out. Does he just fire? And if so, what happens? Or does he say something? What do you think happens next?
Okay, so where were we? She
just fell down.
She's on the ground.
Bit her tongue and or lost her tooth.
I've punched the wall because I've done that.
She had some mouth pain, but now she's probably struggling up. And Totra grabbed a percussive cannon. What happens next?
I think he fires a warning shot into the ceiling.
Oh, I like that. Kind of almost like a shotgun, like
Yes.
And I think part of the ceiling collapses and rains down, right?
Stay out of the Woolworths. Like
Yeah.
he's like that.
And he's like, stay down.
yeah. Okay.
I don't think Arodia takes that command, though.
No.
I think that she does a huge, sweeping, entertaining move. Like if she did it during the show, people go like, "Cool dance move," but it is just this, just this flurry of limbs, and I think she sweeps under his legs.
Okay.
And also brings her fist up, so she literally punches him in the taint as he falls. She trips him in such a way that his legs fly open, and she drives her fist
Boom, right in the center, right in the core.
Yeah.
Right in the
now,
core.
Ash, what sound does he make?
You guys know what that feels like. I do not.
You take
But-
a wild stab. It's not good.
What does Totra say when he doesn't feel good?
It's like, oh boy.
That's accurate. That keeps to the rules of Totra.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I was 5 days from
boys.
retirement.
Days from
Oh, my
retirement.
space taint hurts. Yes. So he falls straight to the ground.
Yeah, this is painful. What do you think happens next, Ken? In our exciting combat?
Yeah.
Is Arodia on him? Does he manage
Yes,
to
she's
fight
got.
back?
At some point, I got to imagine, she's got some fancy footwear on. Right? She's still in her dress. So normally, I don't think she'd fight in her heels, but I think she's got some stilettos on. She's got something fancy. She's just come down from the place up there, the lounge. So I think she steps on Totra's neck.
Oh, she jumps on his neck.
Yeah, not jumps, but like puts her foot down.
So like the stiletto
Yeah.
and the ball of the foot straddle his neck.
Exactly.
Oh, so if she put pressure either way,
Yes.
his neck could
She's
go.
like, all I have to do is step.
Yeah.
Since we're
Yeah.
talking Indiana Jones here. All
And
I
I
have to
think-
do is scream.
His little mask opens.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right? And she can see that underneath is, his kind face,
She sees the humanity.
his wizened face. And I think he's like, come on, just get off me. Come on.
I'm
sees-
5 days from retirement.
She sees the humanity in his lion-like face.
And I think this is a good place as we pause in our combat as we get close to the end and decide who we think would win in a fight, who do we want to win based on the story we've been telling, who deserves to win. Are you feeling things, Ken?
I think that this is someone, Arodia, who is motivated by her position in life. We talk a lot about fight or flight. This isn't so much fight or flight. Like, I think she knows this is for her own well-being.
Right.
And so I think she's motivated by that higher cause. And she's also, as we've established here, and what is no doubt canon now, she's a type of fighter that I think it's a fair thing to say. She would have got this victory just under normal circumstances. Because I think Totra, 5 days from retirement, he stopped taking some of the self-defense courses that he was supposed to take. He cheated on the test. Can you just sign my name?
He's got the desk job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ash, how are you feeling?
I'm going to disagree with Ken. I think that Totra is holding back because he has the military background. He knows he can take her down.
That's fair.
He doesn't want the fight. He's trying to avoid it. He's firing the warning shot above her head. He's saying, please don't do this. That's
true.
Why are you coming at
He
me?
could have fired right at her. At that
Right?
time.
He could have got her right away, but instead he's holding back. He's 5 days from retirement. He doesn't want this.
He's a fan of her work.
He's a fan of hers. He's basically like
This is like if
a
I started-
super fan fighting
Yeah.
like a Jonas brother
Well,
for no reason.
this is like if I got into a martial arts fight with Liz Fair. Like, what are we going to do?
Right, it'd be like if me and Mark McGrath were just suddenly trying to kill each other.
I mean, I'm sure that probably happens at MMA fights.
I'm seeing
around
him
the-
next Friday, but we'll get into this after.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily swayed my vote, but that is a wrinkle into it. I think he had an opportunity, as skilled as she may be. I think he had an opportunity to end it, and he didn't.
Okay. This is very, very difficult, and I appreciate you both illustrating what musician you would most likely fight.
Anyway, back to
I would
us.
want to fight Tony Bennett because he's
That's
over
fair.
80 and I could take him.
That's fair.
I don't know. He might beat me, actually. He's got a lot of heart. Anyway, I think we should tell this story. Mm-hmm. I feel for Arodia because she, in this fight, in this story that we're telling, is representing the very heart of the movie Solo, the very theme of it, to have your own freedom, your own decision, to not be under the boot of anyone else, not have some gangster like Dryden Voss or now Kira running Crimson Dawn saying, you have to perform here instead of where you want to perform. So what if Arodia loses the combat, but manages to get to the escape pod and get her freedom ultimately?
I like that.
Okay. Is that?
I think
Do you
yeah.
accept that, Ash?
I feel like there would be a moment where Totra would be like, I'm going to turn around and you're going to walk and you're going to go where you go and I'm not going to stop you.
Turn around, bright clothes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Turn
exactly.
around, bright clothes. Okay, I like
All right.
that.
All right, so let's tell that story. So I think that Totra has an impressive move up his sleeve to get out of what Arodia thinks is an inescapable foothold.
He is oddly, and I don't know if the entire species is, but he's oddly double jointed at the knees in the opposite direction.
Wow.
So he is able to almost, he kicks up and the knee goes even higher. So it's like, imagine you have like a rope and it's like, whoop-dook, and he kicks her right in the bum. Just
Right in the bum.
boom.
Hold that out.
Boom. It's kind of, it's, taint for bum action here, all right?
The old backwards knee to the bum.
Yes. And it like shocks her enough that her foot falls off, that he grabs her foot and flings her off. Maybe she loses her balance. I don't know about that, but you know what I mean? Like, he just gets away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as he closes in on her, she has one more move up her sleeve. She taps her vocoder, which is actually a little bloody. It's disturbing. And she sets it to a frequency that she thinks will be disturbing to the high lobans. And I think she starts singing aggressively at him as he bears down on her. Now, Ash, if you want to do that, you can.
No, I do not.
Ken, what does it sound like as she aggressively sings at him in a pitch that she believes is disturbing to high lobans?
I can't get that high pitch, but she says, "Oh, what's the frequency? What's the frequency? Totra, is your head in pain? Oh yeah, yeah. That's kind of what it is."
Okay, nice. And I think that does like Totra's actual ears do start to bleed. He closes his helmet and, in fact, like spins it around a little to try to cover his ear holes a little bit. But even that won't stop him. And I think he says, like, no, this is my job and I'm going to do it until 5 days from now.
Retirement.
And Ash, as he closes in on Rhodia, she's desperately singing, "What's the frequency?" What does he do to her? He's got a cutlass he could pick up. He has a percussive cannon. His knees go both ways. Who knows what other joints do?
So the dress has like little, what are these called? Like the little like shells on it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Scales.
Yeah, the scales. So he pulls on 3 of them, and they actually, the way they go in are they're kind of blades on the end.
Okay.
So when he pulls them out, it's like 3 sharp blades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he holds them to her,
Okay.
and he says, "I am 5 days from retirement."
I am 5 days from retirement. Don't take this from me.
Don't take this from me. But I think that he doesn't want this fight. He could easily win it. Mm-hmm. And he says, "I'm going to go back to my desk." And you
Okay, all right.
Back to my desk.
So I think as he's saying this, he swirls his helmet around. He opens his mask back up, and he and Rhodia make eye contact. And Rhodia's like, "You have bested me. I thought that I was a student of Terraskasi and could defeat you, but it is clear when a person can beat you with your own dress and hides forever.
That is a great line.
Which way their knees go, that is a true master. But if you are going to get your freedom in 5 days, you need to let it look as though I defeated you."
Oh, that's good.
For the cameras. And then I can make my getaway. Yeah. We can make a deal. It can work for both of us. It can work for both of us.
We both want our freedom in 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days.
Yeah. So I think Totra accepts this. I think Rhodia pulls out the Vibro multi-tool.
Okay.
And what does she fake do to Totra?
She fake slices his neck.
Oh.
But really all she's done in reality is just trim his beard a little bit.
So there's a big shunk, and then from the camera's perspective, beard hair flies everywhere.
Yeah, but the way he does it, he turns his head so it looks as though, like is there blood coming out? It's really just his beard.
Yeah, and I think he rushes his hands up with his claws, and like the wrestlers do, he cuts his own
blades, as they call it.
Yeah,
yes,
he cuts his own
blades
neck.
himself. Love it.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit of spurt, and he falls.
Yes, yes.
And I think Rhodia grabs her Vibro multi-tool, and she runs for the escape pod.
Right.
But first, she turns her head back and says, "Enjoy retirement."
Yeah.
And she jumps in, and just as the first light enters leaves light speed, and jumps into Dathomir. Well, it would have jumped out of light speed because otherwise it had exited light speed. Anyway, she jettisons out just before they make their landing on Dathomir. Yeah. Now, Ken, sometimes you have ideas for post-credit scenes. I think that was our main story.
Yeah. Flash forward about a month.
Yeah.
You
Yes. I like where you're going with this.
Okay.
Okay. So we're more than 5 days.
Flash forward to a month. A shuttle lands on the remote world of Scarif, the beach planet. There's a resort there. There's some construction going on in the background. Looks like the Empire's building some things. Shuttle door opens and out steps Tot-Ra in some Scarif shorts, as they're called, similar to our Bermuda shorts here in the world.
Chubbies.
He's got some sandals. He does have his percussive cannon in a bag, and he shows up. And there's a resort. He walks in. He's like, reservation for one for Tot-Ra. All right, sir. How many keys to the room? Good. By the way, there's some evening entertainment here. You're free to go up and check the music of Erodia on the 14th level.
Love
He just
it.
kind of goes, I will do that. Thank you. Walks away.
Very nice.
Credits roll. Love it.
Credits roll. Thank you all so much for listening to our bizarre adventure. Now, Ash, you were a big fan. This is our post game. This is our after brawl. You had such strong feelings about Tot-Ra. Do you feel like Tot-Ra got his justice?
Yeah. He's retired. He finally got his retirement after, I assume right after 5 days he actually retired. But
I think Kira let him
I'm
go.
a little nervous that he's in Scarif, but
He's got a ways to get off.
But overall, I'm very thrilled. And also now very attached to this character.
Excellent. So the next time you see Solo, you can be, oh, my buddy Tot-Ra.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the first time.
His knees. God, his knees. So weird. As always, if there are characters that you want to see fight, listeners, let us know with the hashtag DataBankBrawl. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me at Ken Napzok across all social media platforms. That includes YouTube with my Motivations with Ken. Buy the T-shirt, too, because I'm wearing it now. You can't see it.
And Ash, you do many things.
I do many things.
You do many things, and you do them all well. One of them I think you do very well is just Twitter.
Yeah,
you're
that's
good at
kind of my
tweets.
main. Yeah, that's my main gig. You can find me at Ash Crossan, and then that's where I always like pin what I'm doing the most recently. So
Yeah. But you're still with EW, right?
ET.
Jeez, I knew I would get to... I knew-
etonline.com. But yeah, like I always tweet my latest projects.
Okay, excellent. And your current project is tweeting a lot about Mamma Mia. At least one of them.
Yeah, sometimes you need a break from things, and you just go to Mamma Mia. It's always happy. It's always blissful.
Okay, so check out Ash on ET, not EW. I apologize for that. And check her
Common
out on social media. She's one of the best people on Twitter, in my opinion. We always want to plug, until we get there to our goal, more ratings and reviews on iTunes. When we get to 500 ratings and reviews, we'll do a special episode featuring major Star Wars characters. We also like to thank Tony Thaxton for our theme music. You can check out his Patreon at patreon.com/CloudCitySoundtrack. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/4center. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as at Joseph Scrimshaw, and check out my albums, podcasts, and shows on my website at josephscrimshaw.com. You can also like 4Center on Facebook and follow us on Twitter as at 4CenterPod. And until next time, as Luke Skywalker once said, while no one was really listening to him, I care. That's it for Databank Brawl.
We learned, we fought, the glory and the shame.